This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
She ran into a situation and it just made her turn a little bit harder. So she wanted to start setting boundaries in her life. So when she did that, she kind of set them with me as well, which is fine. Things happen and people start going through things and they
Well, she sounds like a pushover, to be honest with you, so I'm not understanding what you're saying. Like, basically, you call her whenever you want her. You've got her working more hours than she banked on.
People can put on a good act in front of you.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
This is the plaintiff, Michaela. She says she was hired by the defendant to babysit her 3 kids, but the woman overstepped her boundaries and it made her uncomfortable. The woman would call her in the middle of the night and tell her about her sexual relationships, and eventually she got fired. Bottom line, the strange woman owes her $1,482, and she's here suing her for it. This is the defendant, Melissa. She says things were great at first, but then she started dating someone and her head went into the clouds. She would come home to a big mess in the house. She lost her job due to this woman, and she's not paying her because she's the one who's now out. She's accused of bothering a babysitter.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Millian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ms. Michaela, you are suing Ms. Melissa for $1,482 you say is owed to you between wages and some late fees you had to pay because you didn't have any money to pay your college tuition. Tell me what's going on here.
I met Melissa in about May 2021. We met at the grocery store where I worked, and she said, "You have great energy. Would you like to babysit for me?" She has 3 girls. I said yes. I do love children.
How old are you?
I just turned 20, and at first when I worked for her, the rate was $20 an hour, and she would pay me daily in cash. But I would work from 1 to 3 times per week, if even, because she had a very sporadic schedule. So I worked with her like that was. We had a flexibility thing going on. So that's how it was for a while. However, in June of 2022, I started to work more full-time, as that's when she started to go to work herself.
Okay.
So I brought the girls to camp and school, to and from, for about 30, on average, hours per week.
And how much were you getting paid?
So for the time that I started going more full-time, she asked for a set payment instead of hourly.
Hourly.
Yes.
And you agreed to that?
Yes.
Okay, and then what was the set payment per week?
So the set payment was $333 per week,
Okay.
and she said that would be for the work days and about 30 hours in that. For anything extra, she would compensate me for that.
Okay, so when did the problem arise?
Well, firstly, I noticed when she asked me to come up with a rate that could work for her, she told me she had to get back to her scheduler at her job. So, it was a rush thing, and she said it'd be 7 to 3 this day, 7 to 3 this day, 7 to 3 this day for her, for what I would be working. However, I was not aware that 7 to 3 was her shift. Mm-hmm. So she's driving hours away. That's what she said. And so I would have to come in from actually 5 in the morning, and then I would leave at 5:30 to 6 thereabout in the afternoon. So when I was calculating that set price, it was based on the idea of about 7 to 3. I was not aware that I would have to come over.
Okay, so did you renegotiate when you realized that she... Okay, so you didn't.
did
So then
not.
you agreed to that.
Yes,
and then what
I
happened?
agreed to that.
When was the first time she doesn't pay you, and what reason does she give you for not paying you?
So July 10th to 16th.
Okay, that's the first week that she doesn't pay you.
Yes, except it was bi-weekly. So it would be from the July 10th to the 23rd, those 2 weeks.
Okay, when would she pay you, in advance or after the weeks were done?
After the weeks were done.
All right, so it's the 23rd of July is the first time you say, hey, you owe me what?
Yes, owe me for the last 2 weeks.
Which is how much?
Which is $666.
Right. 666. Okay, an unfortunate number. All right.
Yes.
So now, so you tell her on the 23rd, and what's her answer?
So she told me that she needed more time, and I said, okay. And then I asked her again on August 6th, and then she said, like, I don't need a reminder.
On August 6th, she tells you, I don't need a reminder?
Yes. And
That's actually August 3rd. I'm looking at the texts.
okay.
So in the beginning of August, you get sick, or you took time off?
I was not able to come into work for her on August 4th, and
So did you go into work on August 3rd?
No.
Did you go into work on August 2nd?
No, I went to work on August 1st.
Just August 1st.
And
All right, so you worked on
Sunday
August 1st. You didn't work the 2nd or the 3rd. When did you go back to work?
So I didn't go back to work because she told me that she'd no longer need me to babysit for her.
Did you see that coming, or you didn't see that coming?
Well, I noticed she started to be a little bit, like, not as nice as she was at first. I don't know if she was just overwhelmed with work or overwhelmed with a lot of things. She said that she was moving. The house was a constant mess, and that was another thing I noticed she would bring up, that I'm not doing, like she was upset that I wasn't cleaning, but I got very... First of all, I was hired as a babysitter, and I did a phenomenal job at that. And I would clean when I could, as I could. However, towards the end, there wasn't even dish soap. There was nothing to...
Let me ask you a question. Who's the lady with you?
That's my mom.
Okay. If you're hired to be a babysitter, then you need to speak up for yourself and say, it's not my job to do your laundry.
Yes.
Right. Why weren't you just saying that to her? And if you're hired, if you think you're being hired to work from 7 to 3 and somebody makes you work from 5 to 5, you need to speak up for yourself and say, wait. So she doesn't pay you and then she fires you. What does she say is the reason she's firing you?
She says that she just thinks it's better that way, and...
Well, I noticed that the text that she sends you before that. Who's Fernando?
That's the girl's other parent.
The father?
Yes.
She says to you on August 3rd, hey, what day do you think you'd be fine coming back in? Mm-hmm. And then, so why is it that you're not in? That's my question. Were you sick?
Yes, I was sick, like terribly sick.
And then you say, if you need me on the Tuesday, I can try to work with that. Hopefully I'm feeling better by then. And then on the 3rd at 12:56, you say, and I just want to remind you about paying me for those 2 weeks. She says, thank you, love. I don't need a reminder. But you do need a reminder because you never did pay her. Why didn't you pay her?
She didn't come into work.
No, I know she didn't come in August, but she did. You don't deny that she came in July 10th through August 1st.
So what happened, the story of the line that she's giving you, by the way, is really off.
Okay.
We had a weekly schedule. She had her days, and every week she would ask me, and I told her, Michaela, it was the same exact schedule.
Every week she would ask you what?
She would start asking me, like, what are her hours? So at first she was hired hourly. And when she's telling you that she's getting $333 a week, that's my portion. She was getting a portion from their dad.
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
She is here suing for July 10th through July 16th that she didn't get paid at all.
Yeah.
Why didn't you pay her?
So those 2 weeks, right, during that week, she had family visiting her, and she missed several days those weeks.
Wait, we're talking right now about July 10th through July 16th.
This was before she was sick. This was before she was sick.
What days did she miss?
There was a Monday in there. I'm not exactly sure which one, but it was specifically, I came home after working.
What days? You said that she had a specific work schedule.
Yes.
What was her specific work schedule?
Monday, she worked for me.
Every Monday?
Every single Monday.
And what other days?
Tuesday was just the morning, 5:30 to 9. Wednesdays, she doesn't work. Thursdays, it was just afternoon from 12 to 4. And then Fridays, it would depend whether she was working for Fernando or working for me.
Did she ever work Saturdays and Sundays?
For him, yes. And if she did it for me, she got paid extra because it wasn't part of that work.
All right. So on a Monday that you're expecting her, she doesn't come in.
So I text her that evening. Listen, I'm a nurse, and my job is crazy. It is crazy. I have a stressful job. I get to work, I have like 26 patients. I have to focus and pay attention. That's why I, made sure I spoke to her before I took the contract to explain to her, like, this is what it was. When we first met, the reason why I wasn't
Okay, no, I don't want you to go that far back.
Okay.
I want to know about the Monday she didn't work. What day of the month
She told
was
me
that? What day was that?
Was
What day was
that
that?
was one of the
What day was? No,
July.
I don't deal in vagaries. I need you to look at a calendar and tell me what Monday she didn't show up for work. Because then I'm going to ask you to prove that, because she's denying that. So tell me what day she didn't come to work on a Monday. Put your hand down.
I'd have to.
No, not you, her.
I'd have to really just look, because I'm
Yeah,
not
go ahead. Don't worry
you.
about it. That's what I want. We're in court and we have to be specific. If you don't want to pay her, you're going to have to prove what day she didn't come.
Your Honor, it might have had to been like around, either was like the 12th or the 19th, or the week of the 19th. She had family coming in.
Okay, I'm going to need you to prove what you're saying. So do you have any texts where she says, I can't come in today?
I don't have this on my phone.
Okay, so how are you going to prove to me that she didn't come into work on a Monday she was supposed to? And I guess you're saying she didn't give you notice?
No, she didn't. And when I was trying to, she came in and the reason why I told her, okay, she got mad. She came and took my daughter's car seat and threw it in the house. And she was just like,
okay.
I was trying to call out right in front
watch
of her.
this. Did you not go to work on a Monday between July 10th and July 16th?
No, I did not.
Okay, so what days did you take off on the week of July 10th through the 16th?
On July 10th through the 16th, I worked on Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
Because that's what we initially agreed on. For the Monday, she didn't let me know in advance, and I have the text messages where we communicated about that.
Let me see that. I want to see that, because I did not see that in the text messages I have.
This is where she asked me last minute.
Okay, so let's see what this says. All right. Did you guys have a contract that specified what work days were supposed to be?
No,
that would be helpful, right? All right. Do you have text do you have any text to show me that it was a regular schedule and you didn't change it every week?
No, I don't have text.
Okay, do you have text where every week she tells you what she's going to need that week and it's different?
So a lot of the times we would speak in person.
So the answer's no. Okay, all right. So now let me just read what you do have. Hold on. Will you tell me what day you say she didn't come in she was supposed to?
Either it was from that week, I'm telling you, that week was either the 11th or the 18th of that week.
Okay, so only
That's
one party
days.
in this courtroom is giving me text. So now I'm going to scroll back to when you say it is. She says it was the 17th, but that's all right.
I don't.
Now I'm going to. That's fine. So now I'm going to go back to the 10th because you have no text to show me. And no, there are no texts here where she calls in and says to you, "I'm not coming to work on a day I'm supposed to."
She was at my house. I came in. I text her that saying like, "Hey, are you going to be able to do this again for, that
Yeah,
day?"
that's on the 17th. It's not on the 10th. All right, so now I see the text and I've got the context of that. Why did things go south between you two? Because I think both of you say that things got tense at the end. Why do you feel like things got tense?
She ran into a situation and it just made her turn a little bit harder. So she wanted to start setting boundaries in her life. So when she did that, she kind of set them with me as well, which is fine. Things happen and people start going through things and they
She sounds like a pushover, to be honest with you, so I'm not understanding what you're saying. Like, basically, you call her whenever you want her. You've got her working more hours than she banked on.
People can put on a good act in front of you.
Okay.
I'm just saying, she's playing
so how did she right now? How did she? But what did she do that made it sense? Like, in other words, be more specific. What did she do?
She called out 3 days in a row, and I just asked her, can I have proof to show my job that it's not just me playing hooky and it's a serious thing? I can't call out 3 days in a row and not have proof of a doctor's note or say why I'm calling out. They want to know what's going on. Or, do you have COVID? Now I had to go get tested to show this, and I had to wait. So then they literally... I had agreements and guidelines in my contract, and I can't show that because of HIPAA. It's healthcare stuff. So there's certain rules in there. When I didn't show them the proof that they needed, they terminated my contract. It's based off, and I told her it's like based off a salary. It's not hourly for me at that point. So I had to pay out the rest of my contract.
However, there are text messages where I did tell her explicitly, I do not want you to lose your contract. I'm still unwell, but I will come in. And she told me no.
Right. And let's look at those. Okay, so on Thursday, August 4th, she says to you, hey, I don't want your contract to be broken. I'm taking today to rest and take medication. So if something changes and you need me to come in tomorrow, then I'll be there. My congestion's feeling a little better right now and I'm not coughing too much. I'll let Fernando know the same thing. And then on August 5th, you ask her, hey, did you work for Fernando today?
Yeah.
Right. And she says, hey, no. And can you give me a time frame when you're going to be able to pay me for June 10th through the 23rd? I have some bills to pay. And Jaden's birthday coming up, and you say, I have to sit down and calculate the shortages from this month's work week and give you a time frame. Did you ever do that?
I did, but then she got the cops. She did some other stuff after that. So that's why she was like texting me things like, you know, and she called. I didn't have a babysitter. When she first got hired with me, she got trained for like 2 or 3 weeks before I left her alone with my kids. So I had to go find a whole new babysitter. This was last minute for me. This is my profession. It's my job. So she had called the cops, and
why did she call the cops? Because you owed her money?
No, because she texted me something. I told you I was like sick for a year, right? And then she texted me, and she was just like, "Oh, what did you lose your mind again?" And she was being really she was hitting me low blow, knowing like what I just went through for the past year. So when she said that, I was like, Michaela, like, didn't you just leave church? Like, you know, why are you gonna get nasty with me? You just left church. Like, why are we going there? So she ended up calling the cops on me. When she called the cops...
Did you call the cops?
I did call the cops because I was asking her when she was going to pay me. She started saying all of these unnecessary things.
Like what?
She says, LOL, good Christian girl who has sex before marriage and then is nasty when she feels like it, but sings worship songs and reads the Bible, laughing emojis.
It's people stop talking.
It's people like you who make the world it is today. I'll mail you a cashier's check. Make sure your address is in the invoice. Don't ever contact me.
Okay, but why is that a police matter?
Because I've been trying to just get my money because I'm having so much anxiety about my school bills and having to take out extra loans.
Okay, but so what did the police tell you when you called them?
So I went to the police station and the officer met with me and I showed him the text messages. I was saying, I'm getting overwhelmed. I just want you to ask her to please stop with the nasty messages. And that's what he did. That's why I asked.
You actually called her?
Yes, he did.
Did the police call you?
So this is what happened, right? She texted me that nasty comment about saying, oh, what, did you lose your mind again? And I was like, Michaela, this is exactly what I said to her.
Hold on one second. I want to see the nasty comment you're referring to. So,
well, it might not be nasty to you, but I was sick for a year. So she was throwing
But I want to know what you say. You said, did you lose your mind again? Just a second.
I was a little annoyed, I'm not gonna lie.
Where's the thing where she said, okay, here's where it is. It's way after, it's a month and a half after. That's not why you fired her. And you say, it doesn't matter to me what you say. The facts are not gonna change. What facts? Melissa, are you losing your mind? You really don't treat people right. How is that a personal affront to whatever psychological issues you had before? Were you sharing that with her?
Yeah, we had a good relationship. She knew very well. We both knew personal things about each other. That's just the truth.
According to you, it was too many personal things that you knew about her.
Yes.
Like what?
And I did not know that she had like any mental problems like that. I was not trying to attack her in that way.
I mean, it's just like a normal thing that someone says when you're not, you know, when you can't, when you're not paying the. Are you losing your mind that you think that the facts aren't going to change and you're not owing me the money? You really don't treat people right. It's not, hey, have you gone nuts again? And so now you're suing for 4 weeks of babysitting, but if we know that you didn't work the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, why are you suing for your work week until the 6th?
Because we had an agreement that like every week, it wasn't based off hourly. So regardless, that week had ended and it was $3.33.
Well, what if you get sick for 3 weeks? She's got to pay you anyway?
No.
Well, that's what you're saying. You're saying that you get paid no matter whether you show up or not.
I wanted to come to work on the Friday when I was needed, and she told me no.
The Friday's for Fernando.
No, I would work for Fridays sometimes for her as well. And I told her I would come in. I told her I don't want to lose I don't want you to lose your contract, and I'm willing to make it work.
Okay. What's the real reason you fired her?
She got snotty and she got inconsistent.
Okay, so it's the snotty part.
And inconsistent, yeah. Okay. And it was like, I go into work and I give 110%. I need someone who could do the same thing for me. It just wasn't working anymore. It's like.
But if she had set days, then what do you mean?
I'm coming home, like, she got the girls McDonald's. There's McDonald's on the floor. She started dating a new guy, head in the clouds. She's supposed to be getting my daughter ready. She's putting on makeup in the bathroom instead of getting her ready. It was things like that. I don't have time to keep telling somebody, like, the basic little things all the time. I just don't want to be having to explain, like, little things that should be common sense.
Okay. Give me a moment, folks. Nobody talk. Are you both in agreement that it was usually 3 days a week? Is that what you're saying?
They're about at least 3 days.
And according to you, it's 3 days a week? All right. I'm going to order the defendant to pay the plaintiff for the time that she worked, which includes the week of July 10th, the week of July 17th, the week of July 24th, and August 1st, which comes out to $1,110 verdict for the plaintiff. You cannot withhold salary for someone because it's no longer working out or they're testy or whatever other reasons you have. She worked it, you got to pay it. $1,110 verdict for the plaintiff.
You come in.
So the plaintiff in this case prevails to the tune of $1,110. She's the babysitter. Let's see what the defendant has to say about this now. Melissa, let me ask you, what are you thinking right now?
I'm not really happy with the verdict, but it's fine.
Let me ask you, have you learned anything from this experience?
Yep, just
in
hire
hiring
more
this
than one babysitter.
That's probably a very good idea. Let's see what Michaela, who's the babysitter now, and the one who brought this case to court, has to say. Let me ask you, have you learned anything from this experience?
Yes, to be firm about boundaries and to stand up the first time something's going wrong.
You know, that's a good lesson for a young lady, indeed. Good for you. All right, congratulations, and good luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
All right, Harvey, what are your thoughts about this dispute? This is interesting.
Okay, Doug. Well, this is a case essentially where the defense is the other person was rude to me, disrespected me. That is never a defense to non-payment of a legit debt. If you owe the money, that person can be rude as hell. It doesn't matter. You still have to pay.
Marilyn, when do you start your holiday shopping?
All year long, basically, but...
Yes, you absolutely do, because you're like a type AAA person.
That isn't even it.
On top of everything.
No, it's that I can't come up with good ideas at the last minute. Like sometimes, you know, especially stocking stuffers, because I want them to be creative.
Right.
I will run into something and say, that's an excellent stocking stuffer.
Right. And I'm like, gift certificate.
Yeah, right. You're like, Harry and David. Where do I sign up?
McDonald's gift certificate.
Right. No,
something like that.
So I'll try to, especially with the stocking stuffers, I try to gather them all year long, but sometimes I'll just think of something for someone and I'll get it in
Plus,
advance.
stuff goes on sale on like December 26th, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to just grab a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it also goes on sale the day after Thanksgiving, John.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
right.
yeah,
What do they call that? Black Friday.
Yeah,
or something,
exactly.
Right?
And so you don't have to wait until after Christmas to buy Christmas presents.
Right.
Right.
Well, you know, Black Friday's a great day, but you can really get banged up in those mobs.
Yeah. I finally don't do that anymore, but that used to be a tradition in my family. Remember when we used to all the nieces and myself and my mother, we would all meet at the mall.
Right. That's before there'd be like, you know.
No, there were 1,000 people at the mall.
Fights
it was not before fights. This was just part of our thing. We loved it.
But
you
it's
know?
Never my thing.
No, it was never your thing. You couldn't believe I was still doing that.
I know.
But it was part of the hunt, and it was kind of fun, especially to get together with all of my nieces and everybody.
Right. You can't resist a bargain.
Yeah, that's true too.
This is the plaintiff, Jackie Harmon. She says the defendant rear-ended her when she was at a red light and won't pay for the damages he caused. The guy even went to the cops and claimed her son was harassing him. Bottom line, she's suing him in this courtroom today for the $3,000 he owes her. This is the defendant, Terrence Mixon. He says he grazed the back of the plaintiff's car and paid a body shop to fix her car, and the woman was satisfied. Then her son calls him out of the blue saying he was going to come here and fight him. Huh? There's no way he owes this woman a penny more, and he thinks the judge will agree. He's accused of grazing a woman.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says that the defendant rear-ended her at a red light and now won't pay for the damages. But the defendant claims he tapped the woman's bumper, he paid for her repairs, and then her son shows up at the house looking for a fight. It's the case of, yeah, I tapped that.
Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you,
You're
Douglas.
welcome.
All right, Ms. Harmon, you are suing Mr. Mixon for the value of your car, which you say he essentially totaled. Tell me what happened.
Well, February the 24th, I was on my way to work. I was at a red light at the intersection of 55th and Woodland. I was sitting there. Once the light changed, I went through the light, and all of a sudden my truck got to spinning. I seen lights spinning everywhere, and it landed in the park, almost in the parking lot at the Marathon gas station across the street from where I was going. And it was about 10 of those motorcycle guys. They surrounded my truck because my truck was spinning. And I didn't know it was spinning like that, and they thought it was gonna flip, but it landed down. And then I drove it up in the parking lot, and Mr. Mixon got out, and I said, "You hit my car. You hit my car."
Where did he come from? Where did the hit come from? Do you know?
He hit me on the passenger side, the rear passenger side.
The rear passenger side. All right.
Correct.
So was he traveling behind you, do you know, or you don't know?
No, he was coming. He was on the, I don't know, was that eastbound? I mean, south.
So you're going this way and he's coming this way. Are you both traveling the same way, or are you traveling?
No,
right.
That's
okay.
correct. That's
I got
correct.
it. And was the light green for you?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And when he hit you, what did he say to you? After he got out and talked to you, what did he say?
I think he said something to the nature about he didn't mean to hit me or something. He tried to run the light, going through the light or something. I don't know. I can't remember.
All right. So what happens?
Well, he got out, and then we assessed the damages and everything, and I kept telling him, "You hit my blank car. You hit my car." And then he was like, he was sorry. Then we started taking pictures, and I called my son and was telling my son that I just was in a car accident. I told my son to get up there. And he called his sons. He called his son up there, and after that, we assessed the damages, and then he told me about his family had a body shop and they could fix it and everything. And he gave me his information and everything. We exchanged information, and I said okay. And I had AAA, so I had AAA to tow it to my house. And then once me and Mr. Mixon got to talking again, the following days, I had the tow truck to tow it to the shop. To his family shop.
Okay. And did they repair it?
Well, they said they repaired it, but due to the pictures that I took before and after, everything still looks the same.
Okay.